The suspension of the Ingonyama Trust Board continues to receive mixed reaction. The Land Reform Minister Mzwanele Nyhontso has hit out at King MisuZulu kaZwelithini's decision, saying that he acted beyond his powers. The Zulu monarch announced that he had suspended members of that board pending an investigation into an alleged breach of the Public Finance Management Act. We'll talk about this and also the visit that the minister is making in the Free State with emerging farmers in just a moment. And Minister Nyhontso, thank you very much for your time this morning and welcome to the program. So you believe, and you've said this, that the king acted beyond his powers by suspending members of the Ingonyama Trust Board, effectively usurping your powers because legally you are the only person empowered to make appointments and board changes. Tell us how you plan to challenge that decision now. Minister, you're muted, unfortunately. I'm so sorry, I can't hear you.
So sorry, my sister. Let me not say it's to challenge the decision, but it is to take the king into confidence that the responsibility to appoint board members, dissolve the board or remove some board members, that responsibility rests with the minister. It can't be about the king. Remember, the king is also the chairperson of the board. So he's a board member himself. But what we are saying is that, remember, it's not something that happened yesterday. We've been engaging. In my first appointment, I met with the king. He raised all the concerns he had with the board members. And I also met with the board. I explained to them how the king feels about them. I also went to Parliament and briefed the portfolio committee about what is happening with Ingonyama Trust Board. Because remember, you must also follow the law. And in doing so, you must consult the premier of the province, you must consult the king, you must consult remember, the king is also a sole trustee of the board. So you must consult the king, you must consult the chairperson of the House of Traditional Leaders. Then you must take the decision. So that process was still unfolding. And I was briefing, in fact, just before Christmas, we wrote to the king, we wrote to the board, after meeting with the board, and we're applying our minds so that we take an informed decision, a decision that cannot be legally challenged. Remember, this is what I was saying to the letter about what the king has done. That what the king has done cannot stand legally challenged. Yeah. So this is what we must avoid. So we are going to engage the king. We are respecting the fact that he is in the seclusion. We are told that he is going to come out of seclusion after the 15th of January. And immediately we'll make our way to KZN, meet with the king, explain to him the process, because all we want is a working board. All we want is a board that works for the Amakos, is a board that works for the people of KwaZulu-Natal. They must benefit in their own land.
So you don't see this, Minister, sorry to come in there. Yes, he's in seclusion, and I'll get to whether you've written to whether you've written to request a meeting and whether that meeting date might have been confirmed after the 15th. So just to clarify, you don't see this as a power struggle that you might be setting yourself up for. Do you envisage an amicable solution to the demarcation and the setting up of the roles that you have and the king has as chair of the board?
Yes. No, it's not the struggle for power. It's something that is going to be resolved amicable, because remember, the idea here is to resolve the crisis and the problems within the board. It is not to resolve the power struggle between the minister and the king. There are no power struggles between myself and the king. Everybody knows his job. That is why we had to say no. We have to meet the king. But truth is, it is only the minister that appoints the board after due processes, and also dissolve the board after due processes. All we are saying here is that we must avoid litigation. We must avoid doing things outside PFMA. because this thing is highly regulated. Even the appointment of lawyers is irregular because these lawyers are going to use government money, and that money is going to be accounted by the board, and the members of parliament are going to ask questions to me. And what am I going to say if I'm not involved with daily activities?
I mean, as you say, everyone knows their roles. And as, chair of the board, he would have had to have known as well, legally, what the threshold was in terms of his powers.
No, remember, the king, as the sole trustee, can appoint somebody to represent him as the chairperson of the board. Hence, there were chairpersons that were not the king. But in this instance, the king himself decided to take over the chairmanship of the board, which is not a wrong thing. It is well within his rights to be the chairperson of the board.
Okay.
But the board, as the board, of course, can take decisions as the board. The board can appoint lawyers because lawyers, now there are lawyers that are only appointed by the king. The board can suspend people, can take those decisions as the board. But now the thing is, the chairperson of the board has decided to suspend members of the same board. Pending the investigation. We are going to do the investigation, all of us, because at the end of the day, we must know what is happening with government money. We must account. We must respect the PFMA.
Minister, so just for clarity then, as of today, are those suspension notices rescinded? Is the board still constituted, and have you advised those suspended members to stay in place?
No, in my statement, I said, as things stand, the board remains in place until decided otherwise by the minister. That's very clear. But I don't have to communicate with the members of the board and write to them to say, you are still members of the board. When the time comes, I'll meet everybody and the process will still unfold. Remember, I'm not saying this board is doing everything within the book. I'm not saying this board cannot be dissolved. All I'm saying is that if we are dissolving the board, we must have followed due processes.
All right, Minister, I want to go to the other thing, which is why you're in a car and you're moving, because you are conducting this hour a site visit to Oudendaalsrus, which is in the Free State. You're talking to farmers there about their concerns, and their concerns are serious. They are the legal land beneficiaries, is what they say, with lease agreements. But their efforts to get on with farming and life are seemingly being frustrated from officials from your department. These members of that, one of those cooperative communities, say that officials are even moving them off land that they have, had since their parents' and grandparents' time and beyond. I just want to understand what groundwork you've done before meeting with them in terms of looking into these complaints, some of which they say go back as far as 2013.
Yes, there are very serious allegations against officials of the department here in Free State. In fact, the reason why I'm here is because there was a one clip in one TV station where they were alleging all sorts of things, that they are removed from their land, they are evicted by officials, people are given their land without leases for that matter, and all those allegations that officials are fronting, they are allocating farms unto themselves, that officials are even contracting some red ants and to come and shambok the legal occupants of the land. These are allegations. Some of them may be frivolous, but we had to come and test them. We are here in Free State. We have not met them all now, but we had a meeting with the Premier, with the MEC, and with the officials. It was just briefings. We're coming from briefings now. We are coming now to see this farm and take do a walkabout in the farm. That's what we're doing now. From here, we're going to the hall to meet all these claimants, all these land beneficiaries, to come and make all these serious allegations in front of the officials. We will allow the officials to respond and also state their side of the story. If there are is there any sense or truth to this, we will definitely have to institute an investigation, and consequences must come. We cannot do everything without consequences. We cannot mistreat our people. We cannot have a department that does not work for our people, but that works against our people. If this is true, we'll definitely have to make a follow-up, and definitely heads will roll if it is true.
So, I mean, it's interesting, as you say, Minister, that you're putting the officials who's had the finger pointed at them from the community, with the community in the same room, so that you can have this dialogue and you can get direct answers from them. Am I understanding correctly?
Yes, you are right. I'm going to put them under one roof, all of them, and then they must raise all these things. Then I'll take a cue from there, and then I'll come up with the way forward. We're here with all the leaders from Free State, the mayor, the MEC, the premier, and all the officials. If these allegations are true, we'll take it from there.
All right, Minister, so let me let you continue with your work, but thank you very much for stopping by just to share with us what's next in the Ingonyama Trust saga, and also what is likely to unfold with aggrieved emerging farmers in Odendaelsrust in the Free State. That was the Minister of Rural Development and Land Reform, Mzwanele Nyhontso.